Good morning, y'all. If it's a Monday morning, you already know what the forecast is. It's gonna be a shitstorm. I'm your host, Aries Bookman. I'm feeling well today. Leah Jenkins, good to see you in the chat. Cast a spell, good to see you as well. You like I rhymed, didn't you? I know, I could have been a pimp in one life, but you know, I gotta relax. It's not quite city boy summer, okay? I can feel it, but you know, I had to stop drinking so much. I want to keep drinking a lot, but I have to stop drinking so much. Nature has forced my hand. Nature has forced my hand. AKA more sugar than Java, so you can't get reparations. Look, fuck reparations, y'all. Fuck reparations. Get these plates and cups with Juneteenth on it. Go have a barbecue. There you go, nigga. Go have a barbecue. Make you up another holiday and wear a dashiki, but don't give a nigga nothing, boy. Stop playing. Society Ejects, him, Al Red. Good to see y'all in the chat, man. Good to see y'all in the chat. Another slave holiday. Look, you already know how it is. You know what it's gonna be, what these niggas gonna give you. What do you want to build? Anyway, you know, niggas don't never want to make nothing new. Put some chocolate on a Little Mermaid. No, nigga, make another story. Fuck you talking about? Lucy S. Bay, good to see you in the chat. Y'all know it's a party, man. Look, I probably bring this city boy energy in here, man. Hey, you know I'm living in the city these days. Yeah, son, you already know. All right, y'all. What I got for you today? I want to talk a little bit about narcissism. I don't even think this shit gonna take too long. So if it's shorter than I'd like it to be, what I will do is go over one more technique that I didn't review in the video where I was talking about self-deification techniques. You probably, if you watch my videos, you probably heard me talk about it before. The fourth wall meditation. Very simple technique. And see, man, this is the thing about this stuff out here, bro. So much of it poses as science. And that's the thing I want to talk to about narcissism, okay? The last of the metaphysicians. I'm the Malcolm X of metaphysics, y'all. I'm the Malcolm X of metaphysics. I'm the last one doing this shit about occult stuff. The rest of it, y'all just gonna go back to Western science because that's what you love. Look, before I get into it, I'm gonna hit, because I want to get into it today. I want to have some fun with this shit. I'm gonna give you what you came for. 40 seconds of gold. 40 seconds of gold. Check it out. Love it. All right. So yeah, the conversation today is narcissism, and what I've noticed is, as usual, when people listen to a teacher, they listen for what they want to feel. They listen for some new physical world thing to be doing. They do what they think their teacher's doing, as opposed to doing what their teacher tells them to do. Now I could be wrong about this. Okay. My assumption is that when Brother Panic is talking to niggas about narcissism, right? My assumption is that he's not telling niggas to be Gnostic. He's saying, he's juxtaposing different perspectives about an idea. Okay, just like well, and see, that's the thing. I used to think he wasn't suggesting flat Earth, but now I'm not really sure. And it hurts. I don't know, I may do a show about flat Earth, but today the show is about narcissism, okay? These niggas love to think they're on the cutting edge of something, but you're not. It's old shit. All right, but I want to get into it today, so we have an idea of what these things are. You saw that, didn't you? It was over there. You saw it? You didn't see it. You didn't see. You don't know what you saw. Whatever. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna jump right into it, man. I'm gonna jump right into it. How do I get this thing? My mouse is so sensitive. I gotta make this mouse less sensitive. There we go.
Here's another more religious example. I've mentioned Gnosticism and Hermeticism. I'm going to withhold most of the Hermetic creation myth for the moment. We'll talk about that in another one of the talks, because if I do all the creation myths, it's too long. But I want to tell you just a taste of what the Gnostic creation myth is. Gnostic is complicated. There are three, at least, very distinct meanings of the word. I'm not going to point in it too much, but there's actually a Gnostic belief that latched onto Christianity. And it interprets the story in Genesis that there's actually a indescribable greater God behind the God that's the character in Genesis that creates the world. The creator of the world in the Gnostic myth is actually the demiurge, which is from the Greek demiurgos, which means artisan, builder. And it turns out in the Gnostic creation myth, the thing that you recognize as God in Genesis and throughout the Bible is a demon. An evil demon, as a matter of fact, that created the world specifically as a prison to trap humanity, keep humanity from realizing he is what he really is, which is as God, or just God, and thus to do that by keeping him ignorant of the nature of the true higher God behind the fake God that's imprisoning everybody. And so when this creation myth, when the serpent whispers to Eve in the garden in Genesis chapter 3, the serpent's telling the truth. And Lucifer becomes the first savior. And Christ becomes a character in this story, another savior that just comes along to reiterate the same story. And so Christ in their simulation becomes equivalent to Lucifer, except Lucifer was the first and the highest. That is a simulacrum of Christianity.
All right. Life is a prison. There's a they that doesn't want you to know, because if you knew, you would lean into it and you would overthrow them. That's Gnosticism. Now there are different places on which it will, as he said, I cannot remember this guy's name, and I'm slightly upset at myself for not putting it on the video. I'm gonna look this guy's name up when I continue playing the video. That's what I was doing for a second. But I'll put my foot in it. So Gnosticism, okay, and he's gonna go into a little more depth about it, because I want to make sure we understand what we're talking about before I challenge the idea, okay? Because like the word alchemy, like the word energy, Gnosticism is thrown around a lot. You know, because once again, man, people out here looking for the next manila folder to fit themselves in perfectly. Fuck. And one of the things people will grab in this spiritual community, healer, alchemist, Gnosticism, okay? And so generally, if you got the idea, because I can guarantee you, if anyone watches my videos, a lot of people believe that. And I'm not saying the description he just gave is wholly separate from some types of ideas that you would hear come out of my mouth. All right? I want to be able to show you this distinction, because I think it's telling. I think the description is telling. Well, not simply the description, but, the description is telling, but I'll tell you why it's telling. But I think that people believing this is telling. It's very telling of what they actually believe. Because I tell you real quick, Gnosticism is Christianity with extra steps. It's Christianity with extra steps. And it has a Catholic mode of operation, meaning whatever it finds. Oh, you guys do that? Well, really, we do that too, but you just don't know the whole thing about it. Oh, so you got your dude over there, December 25th? You must be talking about Jesus. He was born by, and he did it. You talking about Jesus. But see, you don't know the whole thing. And nigga love to have some secret knowledge. Especially you can look at a dead nigga and pop his collar. Yeah, listen to this. He gonna talk a little bit about it. I'm gonna find this nigga's name.
And if they can make you believe it by convincing you that the world really does feel kind of like a prison, it hurts, you don't get your way, bad things happen, etc., they might lure you out of real belief and into a Gnostic cult. And there have been lots of them. They have names: the Sethians, the Manichaeans, the Valentinians. There have been, the 1st and 2nd centuries were full of Gnostic cults. So it works. It lures people in. Being becomes a prison constructed by an evil God that you think is God, and you therefore don't know the full real truth, but they do. That's the psychology they play. The secret religions of the West do not operate on reason, they are not philosophy, and they are not science. They do not operate on faith. They operate on something different. They operate on something called Gnosis, which is a Greek word that means absolute knowledge. It's special knowledge, revealed knowledge, the kind of knowledge that you get by having an alleged encounter with God. Just to disambiguate, though, there are 3 big meanings of the word Gnostic. I got to clarify those a little bit. There's the big G, I guess, Gnostic, if you want, and that's the kind of background, secret, esoteric faith Gnosticism. That's a very old line of thought, that basically being is a prison, it was constructed by an evil demon, blah, blah, blah. There's a capital G, regular capital G Gnostic, which refers to when the Christian story, or sometimes the Jewish story, gets hammered into that. The thing I just did with Genesis is the regular capital G Gnostic. And it very specifically, actually, capital G Gnosticism refers to the Christian cults, primarily in the 1st and 2nd centuries. It's a little bit of an unfortunate linguistic choice that was made by some of our forefathers, because it makes this difficult. Then there's small g, lowercase g, like just a concept, not a proper noun, Gnostic. And what that means is, like I said, revealed and secret absolute knowledge. Awareness of an absolute truth that's been revealed to you, kind of like our friend from the World Economic Forum we heard from earlier.
I don't know why I can't find this thing's name. Because each time I go to one of his pages, it has the brand name, which is New Discourses. But what is this? I want to say James Lindsay. I'm not sure if that is it. Yes, that's it. His name is James Lindsay. Louis, good to see you in the building, man. Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. So let's go over this real quick, okay? He pointed out 3 different senses of the word when we're talking about Gnostic, okay? And I think part of the confusion motherfuckers get with this is because they mix and match things. They don't make distinctions, they don't differentiate between things. They just say, this is Gnostic, you know what I mean? You feel me? No, okay. All right. Here, first and foremost, we have these first 2 are proper nouns, okay? So it means we're naming a noun. Gnosticism in the sense of a secret ancient faith, okay? This is Gnosticism, the pure cultured parasite, okay? The pure cultured parasite of Gnosticism. It's the base idea. Basically, reality is a prison, and if you have the secret knowledge, you can subvert it and escape. Okay. Then you have another rendition of the word Gnosticism. Once again, proper noun. This is that virus attached to Christianity. Okay, this is that parasite attached to Christianity. And once again, it takes the same base story, but just absorbs the narrative of Christianity. Okay, all the God that you believe in, that's really Yaldabaoth and his archons. And you don't understand. If you knew the real knowledge, the secret knowledge, you know about Sophia and how they really did her wrong because she was just having a baby. So you got to get up out of here and defeat the what is it? I could say Yaldabaoth again, but I may as well say the devil. I may as well just say the devil again. See, all it does is it Like he says it, like James says, and he's gonna go into this a little bit. It creates a simulacrum. It creates a counterfeit, okay, of what it's talking about. Because I'm not gonna tell you, go be a Christian. I'm not gonna tell you that. Most people who are doing it have no idea what they're doing. They're just following directions. And the same thing goes with the Gnostic people, okay? This is what I mean when I say Christianity with extra steps. There's so many people who are rushing to get away from religion because of trauma, and they'll take whatever the fuck works. And it's not even whatever not works. It works to fill that hole, okay? It works to fill that gap. It works to make you feel like you have a grasp of reality. All right, that's what you lost when you went away from your religions. You lost your grasp on reality, your capacity to fit yourself to the world. And because you don't have it, this is why things seem absurd. Everything seems like it's absurd, and it seems like you're the only person who has any sense, right? Wrong. It's because you're not fitted to the world around you. All right, so the only thing you have no meaning in the world around you except the meaning you want to put there, and all the meaning you have is in yourself. So that's why all these people will love to tell you. They'll love to tell you, hey man, all these guys are really in you. All this is really about what's in you. Okay, bro. See, I'm not going to deny that. But you already know where I'm going to go. What is you? What? And then I heard one nigga, he was going into a whole architecture of oversoul. Like they have to invoke so many things to try and get away from the old shit. And because they don't check epistemology and ontology, they don't realize that their theory is ad hoc. It's just, okay, I'm gonna add this new thing and this new thing and this new thing and this new thing to deal with the old problems. But instead of addressing the old problems themselves. See, Gnosticism poses as science. You will hear a lot of people say that the thing they do is science. It's not. It's not. And once again, we're going to talk about why it's important for parasites like this to pose as science. Science and spirituality, usually. It's not philosophy, guys. Like, I'm so serious. Gnosticism is trash. And if that's where you're going, I want you to see the distinction between that and what I'm telling you, okay? Cast a spell, the first lifesaver, exactly. Out there drowning in chaos, so certain Jesus was alive. As soon as you hit something, I found it, this is the thing. But stop. And look, I'm not obligated to tell you. I will though, because it's funny to me. I'll be in your chat. I'll be in your comments, but they just didn't want to go to church and play pretend. Yeah, they'd rather play pretend somewhere else. That's it. That's all. See, look at this, bro. It's Christianity with extra steps. It's Christianity with more work to do and a more convoluted narrative. Why is it convoluted? Because once you get this absolute knowledge of Gnosticism and you really know what's going on, is all these other gods are fake, but it's really the other one in the archons. And if they only knew, they could ascend, arise, or escape, right? Just like I said, when a nigga think he got the answer, he ain't gonna ask a question. And so the shit that they say can and will get more and more convoluted because no one's asking any questions about it. I swear to you, I heard a dude say that crystals are really Titan blood. Like, they have no choice but to make this shit mundane, to pretend and feel good, man. That's what I did with voodoo when I left Christianity. Exactly. That's what we all do starting out. In order to get to a place where you're more than that, you got to be able to acknowledge it. And most folks, they've invested so much into their new personality and being right, and having been out here telling people, giving out motivation and inspiration, that, they'd have to walk that shit back. They'd have to walk it back. So I'm gonna tell you, man, you think you got this shit a little bit? Don't teach. Challenge that, please. Because you're gonna have me in your comments or in the back of your classroom. Oh, okay, what's up? This man teaching? Cool. Cracking jokes in the back and shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm an awful person. I gotta be better. than that, you know? Like, look, man, I might come to a nigga funeral. We've been talking shit, right? I come with a whole thing, come to the podium. You can't get me now, nigga. This month, I start talking shit to his grandma and stuff. That'd be too much. Man, I have issues. Two groove in the house. I said two groove in the house. Watch your mouth. What's that? What's going on, Groove? Good to see you in the building, man. Yo, you need to check this out, man. Make sure you ain't playing this Gnosticism game, bro. Look, here we go.
They never have to make a positive argument. They only make a negative argument of how everything you can possibly conceive of is bad in some way. It's a denunciation. And the Brazilian educator, the Marxist Paulo Freire, said that what you do when you have a critical consciousness, when you learn to do negative thinking, is that you denounce in a way that automatically announces the possibility of something different, which you never actually have to articulate. And that's what I want you guys to understand is how it operates. It's very important that they never actually make a positive argument for their own position. They only make negative arguments against yours and make it so that everybody's confused and thinks, well, whatever we're doing now is bad, we have to do something, and they have something that's contained in give them power. And that's basically the way their magic or their sorcery, those are words Mike used earlier, I'm gonna use them a lot, actually work. To understand this idea of simulacrity, we have to understand the name of the conference. We have to understand mere simulacrity refers to the concept of simulacrum.
Simulacrum, a slight, unreal or superficial likeness or semblance, an effigy, image, or representation. My friends, Gnosticism is a representation. Okay, it's a semblance. It's superficial. It's a copy. Okay, well, that's what it does. It's a parasite. Okay, oh my God. And so this is why it bothers me, because it's the same thing the Catholic Church did, and motherfuckers will run to Gnosticism as if that's it. And, you know, there's a part of me that's terrified. It's like, what if panic really did mean go to Gnosticism? I'm like, oh my God, do I have to destroy this too? Like, come on, y'all, please. It's a parasite. It's copying Christianity. And this is the main point I really want you to emphasize. I really want to emphasize is the methodology of the Gnostic thought, okay? The methodology of the Gnostic thought is to make negative arguments about anyone else's argument. And they don't necessarily make positive arguments, or if they do, they speak on them as if it's absolute religion, i.e., or absolute knowledge, i.e., dude talking about Titan blood, okay? Now, here's an example of how this will work. Once again, this isn't actually making a positive claim about your own argument. It's making a negative claim about another argument. Why do you think Jesus was 33 when he died? It's a negative argument about what somebody who's Christian would have actually thought, as opposed to making your own argument. You'll hear people ask questions to try and make their point. Okay, well, if that's real, then how come I can't see the curvature of the planet? And now you have to explain optics to them, as if they'd listen, because it was never about whether or not the information was correct. It's about what's salient, what feels good, what do they want to believe. And this is why Gnosticism is so easy to proliferate into the community, because they loved Jesus, and it's not a bad thing. It's that you have to understand the depth to which this was part of your metaphysical presuppositions. And so how easily it can just come right back. You have to get the shit that you're agreeing to out before you tell me you're the new thing. Or fuck telling me, man. You tell yourself. Whatever, I'm a loser. Who cares? Don't listen to Arius. Fuck that guy, man. Society ejects. And did I see y'all in here? Yeah, I saw y'all in there. Is there anything to learn from Christianity? There's plenty to learn from Christianity, bro. There's plenty to learn from Christianity. But the premises isn't that there was a Homo sapien named Jesus who walked around and did spooky magic tricks. Like, it's not the thing. That's the problem. Like, you know, they're mad at Christianity. They're running, Jesus wasn't real. But they're not changing how they think. And so they just go to the next thing, color it chocolate, you know, chocolate space alien, chocolate Jesus, chocolate African Jesus. You know, and It's the same thing with different steps. Even the motherfuckers who do the demon stuff. Oh, I'm tired of Christianity. I'm a demon guy now. It's like, bro, you're basically doing the same thing with a spooky character on top. No, when I'm doing demons, it's not about Christianity. It's all about the self and the... Okay, what is you, huh? Look, you ask these niggas, what is you? What is the self? What does it mean to go within? They're going to give you space-time and Western science. Out of one side of their neck, they'll tell you all the scientists are lying to you about the shape of the planet. But the other side of your neck, here they come telling you about melanin. Melanin and glands in your body. How you even know a pineal gland a thing, bro? You seen pictures? You seen pictures from NASA? Come on, bro. Chill out. Oh, this picture look real high definition, so they couldn't have faked it. Chill out, bro. You cutting open brains? No. How many of you niggas seen a cell, a molecule, an atom? I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm saying how the fuck you know. See, once again, that's where the flat earth people get messed up. Because Panic asks you, well, how do you know? And because they're like, damn, I don't know how I don't know. I don't really know. This must be the thing. That's the Gnostic thought. It's not just making a negative argument about what somebody else already knows, okay? Because look, this is the thing. When I say, how do you know? The question is towards what's the method through which you turn belief into knowledge, okay? What's the methodology you use to turn belief into knowledge? You got to check that. The how you think, man. I love Christian framework. Go ahead, Elijah. But he got his wine and his cracker out right now. Christianity has been separated from its original inception, right? I could be wrong. Original. That's what's bothering me. Okay. I would say actually I wouldn't say anything about that. This is what I'll say. I'll say everything is a rendition of what came before. And to attempt to invoke the original isn't gonna get you more close to truth. Okay, here's the thing. The framework, the framework that they're invoking, no matter which particular religious set you're using, except some of this new shit. Like I don't know about the Scientology and stuff like that, bro. But look, the old religions, the renditions they had, they were mapping to an underlying pattern. You play a musical note. All right, and it resonates at a certain vibration. It's mapping to an underlying pattern. Because what is it resonating with? The air particles? No, there's an underlying pattern. That's what makes the note the note. There's an underlying pattern of stuff is resonating to. And so if you're looking at that's why you have trinities in different religions. Each of them, like I've said, they're a map of the psyche. They're a map of the self at large. They're a map of the whole thing, okay? But first of all, niggas don't know it's a map, but a map doesn't tell you how to navigate the territory. That's part of the reason they'll have the narratives to go along as well, okay? Like you get into the Christian Apocrypha, you got stories about Jesus in his childhood. I think it was not Peter. It was I don't think that was the book of Judas. It might have been. I think there was a different book. I think what I'm talking about is one of Peter's books. But anyways, like that, bro. Like, where did those names even come from? Like the history of the name. It's kind of people are looking for what's the physical reality truth. Okay, and the truth about physical reality is it's not fundamental. So who cares what appears to be true in a physical world narrative? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why they care. Because what is you for them is this. And it makes sense to do it that way. This is why motherfuckers are going to melanin and tell you kundalini's in your spine. All right, tell you your third eye has to do with a piece of meat. That's the pineal. You gotta understand it's calcified. You the end all be all. I'm all these guys, but you trapped in a prison. Now, how much better this other thing gotta be to imprison you, and you just can't do nothing? This man put a piece of meat on guard duty, and you just flubbed. That's what I'm saying. This is why I'm telling you that I'm not telling you Gnostic shit, but I want you to be able to understand the Gnostic methodology. Okay, they do not make positive arguments about their own thing, and if they do it from an absolute place where if you say, "Well, you know, man, you just ain't woke to it, bro. If you know, you know." That's not science. Science does not start with absolutes. That's not science. Whatever, man. People are going wild with that pineal gland shit. Their whole lectures and everything. Yeah, bro. How a little bit of calcium on an itty bitty piece of meat, the thing that's got your cosmic consciousness trapped. That's weak. That's weak. You may as well go back to Jesus, bro. Chill out. Chill out. Really, it's not the devil. It's this piece of meat in the brain. Like, bro, this is what I'm saying. Occultists have been using outdated information for the last 40 years easily. Western scientists have known that space-time ain't fundamental. And so anybody claiming science and telling you some symmetry of space-time, some abstraction of Western science that describes behavior and doesn't tell you what a thing is, Western scientists will tell you that. All the abstractions they've made, cells, atoms, molecules, they're abstractions. They're abstractions to describe behavior. They are not telling you what anything is. But motherfuckers act like that's not their new religion. Motherfuckers act like that's not their new religion. Yes, it is. Scientists said, ooh, this must be the real shit. There was a study that was done with, ooh, look at that. It's the same thing, bro. It's the same thing. Motherfuckers act like you gotta be religious. You gotta get on your knees and worship something invisible. No, you can worship something invisible standing on your own 2 feet every damn day. What you talking about? Let me continue. So a simulacrum, okay? Gnosticism creates a simulacrum. Something that looks like what you were talking about, but it's not. And it's about how you think, which is going to be able to deter that, okay? Now he's going to get into the dichotomy of faith and reason. I would call those belief and knowledge, but the concept and the dynamic is going to work the same, okay? I was just having a conversation about this with somebody where, it's different words. It was yesterday in a consultation. That's what it was. Yeah, you'll have different words in different frameworks, but the thing is doing the same thing. Okay, so that's what I want to point out. This mouse is so fucking sensitive. Little bitch. All right, here we go.
Faith fills a space in people's life. Science fills a space in people's life. If you want to get your occult nonsense in that place, you have to make people step into your space that looks like it. That's the way that it works. So you create a simulacrum of this.
Oh yeah, and hold on. Because please let it be known, this dude is not an occultist at all. Okay? See, and I've said this before, if you want to get some of the best information about Christianity, go to the diehard Christians. The motherfuckers who are telling you that the whole world is run by a demonic cult. Not to say whether or not it is or isn't. I'm saying you go to those people, they're going to know Christianity. Okay? They're going to know Christianity. And once again, you don't have to have the same premises of thinking as somebody to understand what they're saying, to be able to get a piece of what they're talking about. Okay? Because especially if you're going to go on further than what they're doing, you get hell of information about one step. There's so much you can discern from Christianity if you actually get into the symbolism and not come from the premises of thinking that this is describing physical reality. See, you'll do that because honestly, you don't understand physical reality. And so it's easier to ascribe some spiritual thing to it as opposed to face the fact, hey, I don't understand how the world around me works. Because that's the essential issue. Is that once again, you lose your old metaphysical presuppositions. And so now you don't know how to fit yourself to the world. And the inevitable end result, if left unchecked, is nihilistic narcissism. where the world around you has no meaning because you procedurally stripped it of all meaning, and now the only thing that has meaning anymore is you. Remember, it's all in you. It's all in you. It's all about you. These are aspects of you. That's the only thing you got left. Nothing else has any meaning. And if it does, you just switch it, shift it. Here's one thing they'll do. They'll expand the definition of a thing until it doesn't make any more sense. And then when they can show you it doesn't make any more sense, they bring in their thing. And they'll put it in there. Huh, this makes sense. And after you've been confused about what you thought was a very solid definition, the only thing that makes any sense anymore is the thing they brought. It's not science. It's a parasite. It's a cult, guys. It's a fucking cult. And it's not an old cult. It's not no, it's not an old cult. It's not an old cult. It claims to be ancient. It claims to be ancient. There's no history of it being ancient. Well, look at the symbolism they're using. The Gnostic used this symbol goes back to... So what? So what? I could draw a crescent, moon, and star on my shirt. Don't mean I'm ancient. I just put it on a shirt. That was the mistake I made with Masonry, thinking that because I could see the ancient symbolism lit up everywhere, that the motherfuckers inside had anything to do with it. I'm telling you, don't be fooled. That's appearances. Fuck you mean, man. Pineal gland pageantry. Fuck out of here. Oh, let's continue.
So this illusion of the prison of being can take on lots of forms, depending on which thing it's cobbled onto or who's making it up at the moment. Because there are no rules. What's going to stop you from making up secret hidden knowledge? Nothing. What are you going to defer to? Reality? No. You're saying reality is an illusion, so you're not going to do that. Scripture? No. You have a secret higher, Bible code understanding of it. You're not going to use rigorous exegesis or whatever to understand.
I had his volume a little too low there. Forgot to up it. But if you couldn't hear what he was saying there, and once again, you'll see this in the present day spiritual community, is that because no one's going to actually implore rigor into their ideas, because once again, you give a nigga, if a nigga think he got the answer, he's not going to ask a question. What is Gnosis? Gnosis is absolute knowledge about reality. And so now you sitting in a place, you got Sophia in your hand, Yaldabaoth in your hand. I have the ultimate knowledge. Really, this is the only thing you need to know. And everything else is fluff. And so when they start to try and explain everything else, there's no rigor. There's no intellectual rigor. There's no question. Because why would there be? Right? You already have absolute knowledge. And so you're not going to use the world around you to try and figure things out. Ah, it's all an illusion. Ha! Fuck that. So it's easy to cover up the fact that you don't know how it works. It's nonsense. It's unnecessary. Get rid of it. Okay, cool. You're not going to go to any actual scripture and learn to interpret these things, learn to put them in their context. No, because you have absolute knowledge, right? And so you're just going to make some shit up. Because what's going to stop you from doing it? There's nothing besides this amorphous you that you refuse to examine beyond your physical body. So why would you're not going to question anything. You're just going to keep creating more and more convoluted bullshit. This is what Gnosticism wants you to do. It's not because it like any parasite. Think of parasites that infect an insect or something. It doesn't kill the host. That's not the point. That's a bad cult. It just keeps the host infecting others and perpetuating its own misery, all right, to make sure that the parasite survives. Okay. Intellectual rigor is part of what will help us through this, okay? Intellectual rigor is a process of thought which is consistent. It's consistent. This is why you have to examine your epistemology and ontology so that you can be consistent. Does not contain self-contradiction and takes into account the entire scope of available knowledge on the topic. the entire scope of available knowledge on the topic. If a nigga think he got the answer, he ain't gonna ask a question. So now you got absolute knowledge in your hand. Yaldabaoth, the Archons, Sophia, if they only knew. And that's the only thing you consider knowledge. So you put the cart before the horse. You start with knowledge and then start building on belief. Building and building on belief and claiming it to be knowledge. Self-contradicting shit. Once again, it's all you everything. You the center of the universe, but you're trapped by a little piece of meat with a dusting of calcium on top, right? Because look, the pineal gland is tiny. It can't be that much calcium. Come on now, a little dusting of calcium. Nigga, there's more calcium in your milk, in your glass of milk, in your jug of milk. You hit the milk, boy, chill out. You hit that cheese, there's more calcium there. Y'all niggas is tripping. It's a contradiction. And because you're not checking your premises of thinking, because you're not making an effort to be consistent, because there's no intellectual rigor, you're gonna make up bullshit. Convoluted bullshit that's more convoluted than what you started with. It actively avoids logical fallacy. So you got to be actively looking for fallacies in logic. You want to look up what logical fallacies are because, nigga, you're not the first person to think. Motherfuckers been thinking for millennia. There are discussions about this. This stuff is not new. But once again, if you're in a place where you think you have absolute knowledge of reality, this secret hidden knowledge, if they only knew, it's really Yaldabaoth. The Archons are on Earth, y'all. No, you missed it. You fucking missed it. And you missed it bad. You missed it bad. You have to check for logical fallacies. You need to be thinking about your thinking. Metaphysics is philosophy. It's not spooky crystal facts. How to unlock your melanin for your Kundalini's DNA rise. It's none of that. That's pseudoscience. Metaphysics is philosophy. Furthermore, it requires a skeptical assessment of the available knowledge. A skeptical assessment of the available knowledge. If a nigga think he got the answer, he ain't gonna ask a question. This is what the Gnosticism will do. This is part of the reason it's a parasite. If a topic or case is dealt with in a rigorous way, it typically means that it is dealt with in a comprehensive, thorough, and complete way, leaving no room for inconsistencies. This is what the spiritual community is missing. Intellectual rigor. Intellectual rigor. It's the feminine stuff, dude. That's not the intellectual rigor is not the realm of the feminine. That's a masculine quality. Anyways. But y'all gonna conflate that to male and female, and that's not what I said. Whatever, fuck me, right? They skip logical fallacies. Hell yeah, Louis, they skip logical fallacies. They skipped a lot of shit. What you mean? Skip all that stuff, get to the new place where you feel good. When you got new friends and y'all just spiritual circle jerk together, check, fire, fast, we tapping in, bro. Yaldabaoth. No. It could all be so simple. It could all be so simple. You have to do your fundamentals. You got to do your basics. You have to ask and answer questions. And you don't just ask questions to try and make a point. Why you think there's so many books of the Bible? Man, he must have been spitting facts. Who knows what the answer is to that? So what if really all of this stuff was just a dream inside of your cellular membrane? Oh God, what if? There's no rigor. It's fluff. It's fantasy. It's pseudoscience. This stuff is, if you're not debating, if you're not questioning your premises of thinking, it's not science. It's pageantry. It's the new church. It's the new fucking church.
The Gnostic path is one of renunciation and destruction. You no longer have to suffer if you blow the prison up. But in essence, it's knowledge about how to affect something like the jailbreak from the prison of being. This is why when Jordan Peterson says that these people are angry at existence for the crime of being, he's actually hitting it exactly. These people are Gnostic. He's correct.
They're angry at existence for the crime of being. How many motherfuckers today do you know like that? I ain't asked to be born. This is terrible. Why'd you do this to me? It's the nihilism. They're angry at their predicament of being itself. Do you know why they're angry at the predicament of being itself? Because they have no meaning for anything else but their own being. They have no meaning. They have no way to connect themselves to the world around them. They're untethered from the heavens, even at a very basic level. Not knowing how the little things about the world around you work. Fuck whether or not you know how to fit yourself to it. You don't even know how to begin to figure out how they work. I tell you, motherfuckers, philosophy of language, I tell you, your thoughts are framed in words, and your thoughts are framed in language, and words are the bricks of that language. Okay, your thoughts are framed in language, and words are the bricks of that language. Especially, not even just language itself. Now we're talking about the English language as well. You're 2 layers removed from I guess you could say raw thought or the concept itself. And you got to understand the thing that's between you. Motherfuckers don't stop to think about the word. If they got the word and it feels good, they don't care about what kind of Gnosticism they're talking about. What kind of Gnostic? See, okay, when you're talking about Gnostic in the sense of a noun, okay, that's where it's just a blanket term for secret knowledge. It's a blanket term for secret knowledge. Like, I'm not going to tell you that people should stop doing what they're doing. What I'm going to say is that I'm doing this so that anyone who would care to be discerning in their thinking can look at Gnosticism, okay? You want to get into it, man, check the dude out. Really, he spends, this is the thing, because he's coming from a different premises of thinking, he spends so much more time on the details I would not give a fuck about. But, like, all the stuff he'll have to read, all the stuff he'll have to go through to make this much of a move, here's his premises, here's where it's going to inevitably end him. So this whole step would be like maybe one step and I'm going to the next thing, but he can give you so much detail about it. If you want to know about Christianity, bro, really talk to the people who study it. And see, once again, they're going to give you maps. Usually what people are looking for is, okay, how do I take this and make it applicable? If Jesus isn't real, how do I make Christianity applicable? I don't understand. And that's the thing they're having an issue with. So just going to find new information isn't going to fix that. What's going to fix that is understanding what the person is talking about, not necessarily having to translate it from their premises of thinking. Okay, it's the what is you. It's the what is you, okay? Christianity is just another one of the maps of the same thing. Whether or not the groups like the Council of Nicaea have co-opted it, you know, the First and the Second Reich have co-opted the idea, which they co-opt a lot of ideas. You got to be able to distill yourself from that. I'm not going to say it's an easy task, but it's intellectual rigor will push you forward down the path. Intellectual rigor, actually questioning these things, not being mad at life for having you exist. Thinking life should be comfortable and about people's happiness. Fuck that. Our lives are not our own. See, so many people are condensed into this idea of individualism and personal happiness. You live your best life. Make sure it's about you. You got to be happy at the end of the day. Fuck that. Our lives are not our own. You know, you wonder why motherfuckers don't have a sense of community anymore, because all you have is a sense of yourself. I tell you, man, the little shit you do in your life can be hugely impactful on somebody else. You might not even know what the fuck it is, bro. Our lives are not our own. And to the degree to which you caught up in this life and it needing to be yours personally, you're in the world and of it. You're in the world and of it. The trick, in the world, but not of it. Christ-like. You see, once again, Christ don't have to be a physical Homo sapien. It's a concept. It's an idea in a framework. It's a map, and the map, you cannot confuse the map with the territory. The territory is not simply Earth life. It's all of reality. Now you got some people just fucking up how they interpret stuff. You know, just quick to be the new spooky preacher. Be quick to be the new nigga out here. Okay, I'm going on live this evening, guys. Check in. I got some real gems and facts. Nah. You can't ask them a question about it. Hey, man, if it ain't for you, if it don't resonate for you, just go to a different page, man. Idiots. Yelling into the ether. Worse than I'm doing right here. See, once again, I'm not trying to say everything I say is different and separate from these people and look at me, boo-hoo, I'm great, I'm better. I mean, I kind of am, but that's not the point. The point is the methodology that's being used, the premises of thinking, the inevitable logical conclusion. Okay, the nihilistic narcissism out here, and there's a method to the madness, but it's not what niggas is doing these days, bro. It's not what niggas is doing. I guarantee you. How I know? I used to do it. Fuck you mean, bro? Society EJs people. Oh, he said it already. They skip logical fallacies. Jakari, good to see you in the chat, man. I don't think I've seen you before. Damn, that's me. Good. Look, bro, and don't just let Jakari. Is Jakari? Yeah. Don't just let Jakari take all of that shit, because you know I'm talking about you. That's the whole reason I'm doing this. Y'all niggas know I'm talking about you. And the first nigga that thought, man, he ain't talking about me. I don't do none of it. I know you're exactly who I'm talking about. See, real shit, I wasn't even talking about Jakari, because he the kind of person he can think, damn, I do that shit all by himself. And he even had the gall to admit it. Yeah, I'm not really talking about you, but if it applies to you, I hope it helps, bro. Real shit. I'm talking to the motherfucker that immediately thought, oh, Eric's crazy, I don't do that. I mean, he's talking about them, not me. Huh? No, it was you. It had to be you. Guarantee you it's you. But this stuff is very convincing. That's the point. And just sitting here assuming with your absolute knowledge that you're above it? Nah. Nihilism is a hell of a drug. Oh yeah. When you're completely untethered from the heavens, just crunching in, oh yeah, it's a hell of a drug. You get to redefine everything in reality. Now once again, you can see the effects of this in places other than just the spiritual community. Look at these motherfuckers identifying as everything under the sun. Come on now, same difference. It's the effect of nihilism. There's no meaning in the world, and so all they do is decorate their personal manila folder. And then try and get you to believe the shit. You gotta entertain it. Like, it's one thing for a motherfucker to sit over there and tell me he's a frog. Okay, bro, I mean, alright. But now I gotta proclaim you a frog and call you Kermit. No, bro, chill out. I'm not. Because what about me? What if I'm a thing that identifies as something that don't do none of that shit? See, don't nobody want to respect that though. Motherfucker quick to be offended. What if I'm offended at people being offended? That's what offends me. Anyone ever being offended offends me. So if you're gonna deal without your offense, we're gonna deal with mine too. I'm offended. I'm offended by being offended. Man, it's too easy. It's too easy, but I get the issue. You don't know how to fit yourself into the world. You start stripping meaning out of it, trying to find where the meaning is, all the while, what is you, and then you get to this convoluted thing that you're now worshiping. That's your new religion. The shit is subtle. Yes, the darkness is subtle, bruh. It's motherfuckers quick to put on the veil of spooky darkness, but don't really understand it. Ain't really looking at it. Like, that was the thing when I came back to doing occultism and I seen niggas on the left-hand path, man, it was sad. It was weak. The darkness had become limp and weak. It's just the opposite of light, the balancing of light. No, that's shadow. That's shadow. Shadow is cast in the light. Cast, like iron casting, like metallurgy. Shadow is cast in the light. Darkness gives rise to it. Come on now. Chill out. Chill out, bruh. But see, that's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers are quick to say something like balance, right? What you balancing? What you balancing? My light and my dark? Okay, you're balancing Jesus and the devil again. Like, what's the point? What's the point of being balanced? You're trying to get to some new spooky Buddha state. I'm Buddha with a spooky edge. But really, I'll turn up on you if I need to. But you're the same Christian you were with new clothes on. I go to church on Sunday. I love Jesus. But God ain't gonna stop me from turning up on you. Bruh, you the same thing. You the same thing. You ain't changed nothing. Well, okay, I'm being mean about that. You did change something. You changed what you think and not how you think. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I couldn't fit myself to the world, so I started to demonize it and call it a prison, aka hell. There we go. There we go. You see? Because that you is the thing that makes meaning. It makes meaning. The world don't have an intrinsic meaning. Why? So that this meaning can be limitless. If the world had intrinsic meaning, that intrinsic meaning would be a limitation on any other meaning that could be. I mean, shit, you get into the metaphysics, like conceptual shit. This is why I tell you illusion is part of being. Because without it, there'd just be one thing. It's not about escaping illusion. Getting away, I gotta run away. Really, it's Yaldabaoth and his archons telling me about Christianity. It's really, it's Yaldabaoth and the archons telling me about Islam. Oh no. Chill out, bro. Chill out. Bro, I'm Cheshire Cat all day, man. These motherfuckers crazy. They don't understand. They understand, but it's cool. If you understand, you'll understand. You want to get to a place of understanding. The precursor to knowledge is ignorance. Before you know some shit, you gotta not know. That's the whole mind of a child shit. You gotta be in the place where you really think you don't know. But once again, a nigga that think he got the answer ain't gonna ask a question. He gonna ask, hey man, y'all ask me some questions, man. I'm just in it, bro. Ask me something. It's because niggas who do that or just do reaction videos, they have nothing to say. They have no point. Motherfuckers love to still be able to talk and not have a point. Gnosticism lets you do it.
And so actually, if you believe in Christ, you actually are already one of them. You just don't know the whole truth. And that's the way that they get you. And now you're off believing silly things, or dangerous things, or heretical things, but most importantly, counterfeit things. In general, the idea is that you extrapolate out from what people are talking about, whether it's reality, whether it's scripture, whatever it is, extrapolate out and out and out until the original, the real, the authentic is lost. And all that's left is the fiction that they created and made to seem more attractive for bad reasons. Like gender identity being a fiction that replaces sex, which is a reality.
And see, it's not even with Gnosticism. It's not even so much that they have to replace your reality with something new. I mean, they effectively do, but it's not. See, what you're thinking is leaving Christianity and getting into this new thing is the new reality. This is what you miss. The subtle reality you are already agreeing to, i.e. human. This is why I say human is a lie. Because what comes with it? The subtle religion of the Western science. I tell you, motherfuckers, the idea of a particle, of molecules, of melanin is an abstraction to describe behavior. They're not telling you what these things are. And you treat it as though they've told you what these things are. You reduce your spiritual concepts to it. Well, really, it's the melanin in your kundalini. And actually, part of DNA is melanin. Dumbasses. You got to get into the 33rd vertebrae of your spine. They don't really want to tell you that that's what it was about. Once again, remember, that's out there somewhere. See, what that does is it maps to whatever enemy you already have. It don't matter what your enemy is. You can just plug in they. That's the Catholic aspect of this. That's why it's the Roman Catholic Church. That's what Catholic means, universal. It's absorbing any and everything it gets its hand on. And say, oh, really, y'all are me. Y'all are doing what I'm doing. But you don't know the whole secret. It could all be so simple, my nigga. It could really all be so simple. What was this? Sexy God. So having a plate with a candle on it, invoking to some random entity like most spellcasters do, that's just another form of praying, right? Yes, it is, because they haven't addressed the issue of what is you. They changed what they think and not how they think. And what is you is still human. It may be a spooky version of a human, but it's human. And that was the lie. See, motherfuckers will talk about programming. Oh, they're showing you the chocolate colors in the movie. Oh, they're showing you what they did to the black man. Look where the black woman is in there, and then she stepped down there. Okay, maybe there's some conditioning in there. The underlying program behind every single movie or television show you watch is human. It's human, not Homo sapien. Homo sapien is a categorical reality describing behavior from Western science. I'm not saying Homo sapien. I'm saying human. This is something you overlay on top of it. A presumption the motherfuckers are taking. So that's what's going to reduce whatever it is they're doing right back to the same thing they were doing with praying. It's the what is you. It's the really challenging that. Not just fitting in a new word that somebody else said. It's questioning what you already have right there. What you mean you retracted the message? This is live chat, bro. What you mean you retracted the message? Motherfuckers like invoking to Hades or Azazel, Sophia, or whatever. Are you really invoking to yourself? Oh, okay. It's what do you mean by you? Because it's easy to look at something. Oh, that's just part of me. Oh, that's just part of me. Oh, that's just part of me. Okay, well, that's the easy thing to say, but what is you? I'm everything. Okay, so what's not part of everything? That's not a new revelation. That's not a new revelation. Of course, everything is part of everything. But see, they make the idea of it's all part of you. It's really what they mean by you is their human personality. And so they find new ways to make their human personality more spooky and spiritual as opposed to letting this place go. I see there's a massive confusion / riff about entities being an outside thing. I mean, what does it mean? The idea of outside. Look, these motherfuckers are going deeper into the physical world trying to explain it, and you missed it. It's like trying to figure out how a video game works by playing more of the game. Like, that's not gonna get you closer to the code or the machine itself, which is what you're looking for. All right, it's just gonna get you better at playing the game. Josh said, "Hold on." See, I wanted to read your comment. I saw it in the chat. Something about higher, lower self. Go retract the comment. Okay, I see. I ain't know we had them rules in the comment section. David Goodlow, what's going on, man? Good to see you in the chat, bro. Hope the latest show was good. I saw you posted a few shows you were doing, man. If I was in your city, I'd probably go out there to see it, man. There's a phrase for that, Abrahamic thinking. What is you? Yeah, Abrahamic thinking. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Abrahamic thinking. I'm gonna have to mess with that. Abrahamic thinking, because I can see what you mean by that. Because there is a certain underlying motif behind the different Abrahamic religions. But mostly what you're taking away. The methodology of Gnosticism. They don't make positive arguments about themselves unless it's in an absolute sense where you can't really question it. And they consistently make negative arguments about any and everything else. Okay? Stripping the meaning out of life. Excuse me. Could the lower self be the progressing spirit and the higher self the potential spirit? No. Those concepts from my framework don't fit over higher and lower self, and this is why. Once again, it's gotten the devil with extra steps. This God and the devil made all about the personality. Okay, think about it like this way: you got your higher and lower self. All the negative things that you don't like, that you don't want to associate. You tell that, you say that's your lower self. All right, all the things that you consider ideals, you throw into the higher self. You've done that with the same thing with God and the devil. God is the reservoir for all the ideals. His son Jesus is the image of that. The devil is the reservoir for all things negative, earthly, and mundane. Okay. So, but this is the thing. You switch God and the devil to the higher and lower self, but self stays the same. That's my whole point. What your self was is still human personality. So that's the point. Well, if you're doing left hand or middle path, you can make that jump. You can get away with that because you don't necessarily have to examine that. It's not the point. You're doing left-hand path. It's all about what the self is. What is you? You have to really pin that down because motherfucker is quick. You say, "Hey man, I was playing golf with Zeus on the top of the pyramid, and I was astral traveling." Okay, what is you? What is you that was doing that? And it's usually some amorphous collection of ideas that amount to their human personality. Okay? The body ain't you. The physical world is an illusion. Okay, cool. I agree with you. But what is you? What does it mean when you say I am Brandon? What's encompassed in that? And it's just, it's just who I am. It's how I am. It's what I feel. I am Brandon. There's three things there. Whatever. I'll tell you guys, you're in all three densities at once. Body, spirit, and soul. But it's hard to say that because motherfuckers don't want to nail down what anything says because there's no intellectual rigor. It's just, you can kind of say this for that and this for that. Really what matters is how you feel. Fucking feminine shit. Anyways, let me continue here.
There are simulacra of two key institutions, and thus everything that follows from them. Those are faith and reason. Faith as an institution, reason as an institution. We're very abstract at this point. Very, very abstract. Everything that follows from them. There are false churches as a result of faith. False seminaries as a result of faith. There are false CDCs, FDAs, FBIs, SBCs, PCAs, false Vaticans, etc., etc., etc. Now, when I say that faith and reason are these two great big institutions, I want you to bear in mind, this is an oversimplification. These are linguistic placeholders so that I can kind of give you three conceptual worlds and compare and contrast it against them. Don't take it all too literally. But what we have is this creation of the science, this fake science, and we have this creation of mere simulacrity in the place of Christianity or whatever other faith. And the reason is because faith and science describe two broad sets of relationships to truth. Faith and reason are...
Now he's saying faith and reason. I would say belief and knowledge. But this is why I say we're saying the same thing. Because, like he said, this is giving you two different crucial aspects on coming to the idea of truth. Truth is it's a metaphysical question. Truth is a philosophical question. It is not going to be found in Western science and its abstractions on describing behavior. And look, they could have told you this easily for the last 40 years. The last couple hundred years, they could have told you that one. But the idea that it's the space-time stuff, all this shit ain't fundamental. So nine ether being. All that is spooky monkey. Spooky monkey with the spiraling hair. Get the fuck out of here. That's not what it is. That's mundane as fuck. Ugh. Faith and reason, okay? Belief and knowledge. Belief is a more, what is the word? Not necessarily, is it refined? I would say refined. Okay, belief is a more refined or loose concept of the same thing that knowledge is, but it's more dense. Any knowledge, anything you say you know, is based on a collection of beliefs, okay? The two work hand in hand together, and the relationship that they have is what gives you your idea of truth. Truth isn't out there somewhere. All right, you're the thing that makes meaning, but you got to understand how you do that, and it can't just be arbitrary. What did I miss? Here we go. Sexy God, excuse me. At yourself. Is you in an RPG game with all your attributes like Witcher 3 or RuneScape or something? No, you is not the motherfucker, the avatar in the game. You is the nigga holding the controller. That's a big difference. See, what people consider themselves to be as you is usually the motherfucker in the avatar, trying to get a new attribute, trying to find the right secret item, trying to get to a particular level. You're the nigga playing the game. And see, once again, it's not just as simple as saying it, because you need to be able to grasp it. All right, because that's a different statement than saying what I really am is just everything, because you can't grasp that. There's no context to it. There's no self to everything. It's just one thing. And motherfuckers love to anthropomorphize it so they can skip over that fact. The one thing wanted to know itself, so it came down into itself, with itself, by itself, to know itself, in itself, through itself, and that's yourself. Fucking occult poetry. It's anthropomorphized bullshit. Alright? You are the nigga playing the game. But it's, once again, it's more than just saying that. See, I can tell you how to get out the physical world. Dorothy, you were never here to begin with. But if you'd have told Dorothy that at the beginning, bitch, you ain't even here. What you mean? This is crazy. I just killed somebody and these little niggas is all over the place. What you mean I'm not here? Yeah, come on now. Right? It can be all so simple. This is what I say. What is you? It's about where you're choosing to agree to the shit. My little observations. Hey man, get up in here, bro. I see it, bro. That is one of the most thought-provoking questions. What is you? I came to realize a lot of these spiritual teachers don't know. Yeah, they don't consider it. They don't question it, because what people have considered knowledge to be is a set of semantic statements, a collection of semantic statements, propositions. That's what I want to use. Propositions. Okay. So you give people a few things to say. And once that's how people think knowledge works. Once again, it's your school trauma. You can repeat this, you know this fact, and now you have knowledge. No. Knowledge, there are different types of knowledge. That's semantic knowledge. You have procedural knowledge, like how to tie your shoe. Procedure, how to play a piano. Procedural knowledge. You have, and that's in procedural memory. You have episodic memory, or episodic type of knowledge. Well, the episodic memory goes with the knowledge of what it's like to be something, and then you have the knowledge which we call yourself, which is a knowledge that kind of holds you in the narrative of reality. Bro, there's different types of knowing, and just having one, especially if it's just semantic knowing, isn't sufficient to know. Although most motherfuckers will claim that they do. And they don't have to, because nobody questions anything, because no one can ask questions. This is what you get. Nigga think he got the answer, won't ask the question. Matter of fact, he'll probably start teaching. That cult-like thinking. Yeah, that's Abrahamic trend. It had to be that, because for some reason, every time I watch a Bobby lecture and look at bro pour libations and hear all the ashes and shit, I feel the same feeling as being in church and hearing hallelujahs. And this is the thing about Bobby. Bobby was talking 20 to 30 years ago to a completely different audience. Like, motherfuckers are making the same mistake where they try and go do an ancient religion. They go, okay, this is really the thing. I got to go back to the original. It's like, no, that was made for those people. And so you have to comprehend how and why it was made for those people. This is why you don't have penguins in the Egyptian pantheon. Not because penguins are absolutely not divine. Fuck those birds. They don't even fly. Look at him rolling on his belly. Call that a man? He's sitting there with the egg. He's not divine. Okay, whatever. It's not about whether or not penguins are divine and really it's cats. It's about what the fuck was in their environment. Remember, it's a map for the people who are using it to fit themselves to reality, to be able to see reality in a way that makes sense for them. You know, they saw every day crocodiles in the Nile River. And so the idea of a crocodile was salient. And so you put it right there in the map. Because, okay, I can see what that means. I can see how I can relate to that. I can grasp it. That's what the details do. They allow you to grasp some shit, man. Hell yeah. Word. So affirming a freaky tale, and you gonna get a quickie or something. What? Wait, what? Affirming a freaky tale. Oh no. Well, I'll say this about affirmation though. That's what most of the spiritual stuff has devolved into, is just wish fulfillment and affirmations. You know, you got either a nigga is spending all his time motivating you, affirming you, hey guys, we can do it, we're gonna rise. Stay in there, don't die, don't get off, keep pushing, you can do it, emotions. Or it's just, here's the new technique to get your wish fulfilled. You want to manifest? Here, manifest this with manifestation, attraction, and manifestation. Ooh. And that's what everybody wants. That's what everybody wants. And they miss the whole work. They miss what all this shit was about to begin with. Yeah, that's it right there. It's as if they want to go back to their mother's womb. It's as if they want to go back to their mommy, please take me back. It's so difficult out here. See, this is why you need daddy. This is why daddy need to be home. This is why you need daddy. Get up, boy. Come on, let's go. Nah, we got it. Sit right there. You good? Oh my God, my baby. Stop it. Leave him alone. Leave my son alone. Let's go. Hey, man, get him off his ass. Don't stun his growth. Don't coddle him. No, whatever. All right. Baby's needed. Whatever. Let me continue. Stop being a dick.
Are not identical things, but they can hold hands. And my argument through these 3 lectures is that when they hold hands in a sense, or shake hands, good things happen. When they stop, when they get turned against one another, when they lose track of what they're supposed to be, they lose the way, this third entity, Gnosis, Gnosticism, in one form or another creeps in. The way that you stop them, not practically and operationally, is that faith and reason, when they're operating correctly, box Gnosis out. They don't let it in. They keep it out. Faith keeps reason humble so it doesn't get arrogant and think it can transform man into God-man. In other words, faith keeps reason based. It also lies underneath reason. Science can be all the science it wants, but without faith that the world is comprehensible and orderly, it doesn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Faith grounds.
See, now that's philosophical right there. And I try and point that out. Motherfuckers be like, no, I don't have no beliefs. Everything I have, I know. I just know I know stuff. That's Gnosis. That's the Gnostic shit. That's the, I already have the knowledge. And you're completely thrown out the window, the relationship between belief and knowledge. And like you said, it's the same thing I say, where I say belief is knowledge is based on your collections of belief. He says faith rests under reason. All right, faith keeps reason from going beyond its own capacity. And reason keeps faith from floating away. Okay? You have to have the two in union. And when you don't, when faith and reason or belief and knowledge aren't coherent, what creeps in is Gnosis. The Gnosis can now infect you. Okay? This idea that now, it'll give you the idea that you have absolute truth. It will give you the idea that you have absolute truth. And if you have absolute truth, there's no reason for you to cultivate the relationship between your beliefs and your knowledge. A motherfucker's not going to think about how they think because they already know. I'm telling you, bro, it could all be so simple, and the shit is typical. Sasanian. You might have been saying assassin. I don't know. You might have been saying assassin in the Sassanian Empire. Oh, see, that's history again. I don't know the Sassanian Empire. That sounds interesting. Sassy ass niggas. I was just thinking back in the day, nigga, like, yeah, I'm a Sassian, bro. Whatever, man. I'm a piece of shit. Matter of fact, Zoroastrianism is a branch of Gnosticism. I'm not really sure. I gotta look. I've always had to look at Zoroastrianism a little more. I'll probably get into around it. Abraham, Yahweh brought the devil. Yeah, it's just they make a big thing that's your adversary. And once again, this is part of how religious frameworks work. This is part of how spiritual framework work. They're giving you concepts to understand the larger dynamic. And so it's not a bad thing. It's just the devil's in the details. You gotta hold the details of what you're talking about. Otherwise, you're just talking out your ass. And if there's a bunch of people to circle jerk you and say, "Hey man, check fire facts," we tap it in, give you them emojis, you gone. You gonna love that. You gonna eat that up. That's what happened to Rogue Titan, bro. That's what happened to Rogue Titan.
Humbles reason. Reason, on the other hand, keeps faith sane. A long time ago, Sam Harris said that the only difference, he was criticizing religion a bit unfairly. He said that, if George Bush had come on, it was politically relevant at the time, had come on the TV and said he, had a conversation, we prayed and he had a conversation with God and it moved his heart and he did X, Y, Z, that everybody would say, okay, and they would say that's a good thing. But if he said that he talked to God through his hairdryer, everybody would realize he was nuts. And the only difference is the hairdryer is what Sam Harris said. This is what I mean by reason keeps faith sane. If you're just going to believe in that which is unseen, blind faith, it's stupid faith. And if you have stupid faith, sooner or later some cult guy is going to be telling you he talked to God through a hairdryer and is telling you that you got to go out and run into the street and definitely go into the Capitol or whatever stupid idea it is.
There was one nigga that ran into the street naked, trying to prove to the world that he was this new chaos creeping chaos. Soon as 12 pulled up, he pulled all that shit back, put his clothes back on, took his broken Thanos glove off. What stop? Look, man, like he said, reason keeps faith sane. Your knowledge keeps your beliefs sane or in check or from floating away. All right, this is what I'm saying. You have to have an intimate relationship. You have to understand the relationship between the two and cultivate it, as opposed to seeking absolute truth, because there isn't one. All right, it doesn't work like that. And even if it did, how would you check it? You'd have to check it. And so that's the point here. The intellectual rigor, you're gonna need it. Reason is there. Somebody, the intellect, fuck the intellect. It's all about my feelings, bitch. Excuse me. The intellect has its purpose. Otherwise, you will just believe ridiculous things, and there'll be no limit to it. Crystals are Titan blood. Outer space is melanin. Activate your DNA for the Anunnaki 5D rise. Like, bro, you will believe ridiculous things when your knowledge and your belief are not intimately connected in a cultivated way. When you're not thinking about your thinking. To just say, I don't believe anything, that's really when you know you're in blind faith. See, that was your issue in Christianity, was that you were blindly faithful. All right, your faith, your belief can be intimately connected with your knowledge. Not because, that's how I feel, is what I say is knowledge. No, it's a relationship. Like I said, any knowledge you have is a collection of beliefs. It's a dense collection of beliefs. And that's not a bad thing. It's the nature of it. What was this? I saw that, bro. It's crazy. I don't know who you saw. I don't know. Smooth, good to see you in the chat, man. So are sigils an old thing / superstitious thing too? Because I noticed all these Chaos Johnny fanatics are obsessed with sigil magic. Chaos Johnny fanatics are going crazy, bro. A sigil is a symbol. So symbols are timeless. But this is the reason why they'll go crazy for sigils. Because they're easy and it's what they've heard about. These motherfuckers are just repeating what they've heard. They don't think about their thinking. They repeat it. Oh man, this is the new thing. I can't wait to tell motherfuckers because I know now and I get it. Same thing they would have done as a Christian. Same thing they would have done. Oh my God. It's not that sigils are superstitious. It's that they are superstitious about their sigils. Okay. You can make anything from a sigil. You can make anything into a sigil. Sigils are really good tools when you're just beginning on dealing with symbolism. But symbolism is so much deeper than sigils. So much deeper than sigils. Oh my God. Sigils are a baby tool. It's like, a little kid playing with a rattle. It's like that. Like, yeah, it's effective. It's got a purpose. The baby got a little pacifier in his rattle, like to make the noise and move. It has a purpose. It can be used right. But it's baby food, bro. There's so much more to symbolism, especially when you get to weaving and interlacing symbols together so that they speak. That's the good shit. Fucking Yoni fanatics, bro. I'm telling you, that shit crazy. I remember a guy was teaching the dinosaurs were spiritual creatures, bro. That was, what is this nigga's name? Not Yusuf, not Bro Yusuf. And the master teacher conference, the master student conference that they had, it was Trav there. Dreamwise. I don't fuck with Dreamwise like that. Bro Yusuf. I cannot remember the other guy's name. That's the guy who said that shit. I cannot remember his name. This motherfucker said dinosaurs were spiritual creatures and really they wasn't eating no meat. Out of here. You see the teeth on that motherfucker? Chill out. See, but I'm saying, if when your knowledge and your belief are not intimately connected in a cultivated manner, you will believe anything. You will believe anything. Will, there we go. Will, his name was Will. Hell yeah, it's that nigga, bro. And once again, see, this shit is typical. This is what happens when everybody's right and there's no coherence, no intellectual rigor. Or they lied to you about all how science worked, but dinosaurs and melanin was real. Chill out, bro. And this is what they was telling you in the ancient. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. You missed it. You missed it. Chaos Noni Fanatic, well, how you feeling bad for getting some Snow Bunny? But look, hey man, y'all want some Snow Bunny, man? Hey, do your thing, man. My personal opinion is white girls probably got cold pussy. But you go ahead, you be the explorer, bro. Map that out. Come back and tell the niggas how that was. Hey man, look, I don't care what you do with your penis, bro. Look, just don't try to make no law where I gotta do something with mine. Now I don't want to do. Nah, don't speak on the spiritual master will. But stop, master. Whoo. See, look, that's what you do with the things what I was talking about. Expanding the definition until it means almost anything. Master. Ha! Let me continue.
These two working together keep Gnostics out. These two, either when they lose track of one another or when they go off the rails in their own ways, invite Gnosticism in. And that's the hyper reality.
There we go. So that's what happens. This is the Gnosticism thing, bro. This nigga said not the vampire pussy, bro. And these niggas got the vampire. Who the nigga do the vampire stuff? Ravanna Noon. Ravanna Noon be doing the vampire stuff, bro. That shit leftist, man. Look, I'm hit you with self-deification out the gate, bro. Because as far as the left-hand path goes, self-deification is the left-hand path proper. All this other stuff is stuff on the side, whether it's vampire pussy. And these motherfuckers be like, bro, it's pussy. Are you that amazed? Almost everything on the planet got one. See, man, that's what I'm saying. I be seeing this one nigga on there on Instagram, bro. He stay posting just a woman looking nice. Like, they come like that. Most of them come like that. Hell, you can even buy most of that shit at the store now. But niggas are impressed. And they want to make it cosmic. Oh, they only fuck with him because he's black. Hell yeah, man. They looking for what's salient. They're looking for the new person who's gonna say the things they want to hear, make it feel good, and where they don't have to be accountable for the fact that that's what they're doing. Yeah, that nigga wrong, bro. Boy, that nigga wrong. He do this. That shit is spiritual simping. It's elevating to the female, to the level of the feminine, and then taking the male and not elevating him to the masculine, but diminishing him only to the child. You listen to niggas like that, the only thing they have to tell you about the masculine are the attributes of the child. They don't tell you about the father. They don't tell you about the masculine, for real. Because that's the thing. It's about the female. And they confuse feminine and female, confuse the map with the territory. But they don't know, and they can't know they don't know because a nigga who think he know ain't gonna ask a question. Bruh, it's so simple. Hell yeah, they blocked the fuck out of me a couple times. Guys, that's what you can do. You know, just you question what they say, throw this nigga out the church, throw him out the church, get her back to twerking, pass that plate, and throw him out the church. He's a heretic. Okay, cool. Y'all mad at Christianity for how you was in Christianity, but y'all ain't doing the same thing. You know, you got to be able to spot the stuff. It's become the new easy thing to do. Like I heard somebody say this shit, is the new talent is having no talent. Get by with having no talent. Don't cultivate something you're actually good at. Just get by and make it look like you're good at some shit. Well, stop. Yo, so for self-deification, you can just use any name for your Trinity, right? I mean, technically you can use any name you want to, but you want the name to have meaning to the whole system you're building. Okay? It needs to, you want the symbolism to speak for itself. That's the biggest thing. All right? Like in all honesty, I wouldn't even jump into a Trinity because you want to get a taste for your own psyche. You want to start to feel it out because all that shit is right there under the surface, I promise you. But the more you have the details on how it works, the more obvious and easy it is to see that shit. See, because I'll read about some deities like Ragnar, who as a human that became a deity. Ragnar Lodbrok is a deity in the Teutonic pantheon. Usually when you have, because remember, the deities exist in the context of the pantheon, of the story, of the map. It's like I'm not going to take stuff from one map and put it on another map and say this is really just the same thing. Like it's in the context of that map. It may be doing similar things, that is correct. But usually when you have a deity that starts out as a human, they're playing the role of the ignorant progressing spirit, I would say. Because if you think about yourself at large, the only part of yourself that's really engaged in ignorance, okay, and that has to transcend the ignorance. Christ does it. He dies on the cross. Hercules does it with his 12 trials. Okay. Even Horus does it battling Set. Okay. It's the process, the thing that is progressing. Like I'm not sure who was asking about it before. Jeshua, when he was talking about the progressing spirit, that's part of that progressing spirit. Okay. That central self, that thing that rises from the dirt, the seed that rises from the dirt, the thing that breaks through form to rise above it. Okay, that's the progressing spirit. That's the role a deity like that is playing in the pantheon. So when you get to uncovering your own pantheon, the personal pantheon that's right up under your personality, when you get into uncovering that, you can identify that role. Matter of fact, you're more than likely the thing playing that role. Okay, so you don't necessarily need to do anything with that particular deity. You need to see it in how you're already framing your own psyche. Okay, and if you want to, you can use it to help you. Okay, because the thing is, it isn't just jumping away from the idea of how much you believe the personality is yourself. The first thing is to kind of embrace how much you really believe that. And because once you have a good idea of how you believe it, why you believe it, you can build on that. See, most people just try and jump to building something new and getting away from it. I'm like, no, you need a foundation. And that foundation you already have because you've lived your life believing yourself as your personality. And so if you get to the details of that, you can build on top of that. Or you can build away from it if you want. Okay, so using the pantheon-like approach or something similar with the names is what you're saying. And of course, my own creativity expression to spin it all. Yeah, well that is part of the process. But remember, when you're doing it, the trick is always what is you. You have to keep that in mind. This is why I talk about the non-physical conception of self. Because essentially the personality is non-physical in its essence. The body is what's physical. Your personality is not. But your personality is based so deeply in the idea that what it is physical. It's built around the whole idea that what I am is this thing in a body, or I am the body, really. So that's why you don't want to use that to navigate non-physically because it's compromised. It has a conflict of interest with the physical world. You start with a non-physical conception of self, and that gives you one step away outside of that. So you can start to work on the in the world, but not of it. Okay, and it's not necessarily some new identity you have to give to everyone in the physical world. It's about really changing what you mean when you say I, me, myself. When I say you, when you think of, you respond to that, what's the thing that pops up? Okay, you can only switch to a more relatable, comfortable alternative. Yeah, that's usually the case. And once again, that's the heart of the child stuff, where you're actually checking your motivations. Because you could have 90% of your motivations be the thing you said it was. And really don't, since you got that 90, you don't want to have to look at the 10% that was something else. That was really just, oh man, this is comfortable. I feel really bad. I just needed something to get me out of that. And that's what they'll do. Oh yeah. Using the frames, okay, I get it now. Like the chakra frame, Kabbalic frame, Kabbalah frame. Yes, those are frameworks. Those are maps of the same territory, but different maps. Yes. See, once again, those things aren't something inside of your body. Oh my God. They're maps of the entirety of reality, or you could say the psyche at large. And so you want to see how the components come together and work together. See, those are like basic starter frameworks, because there's so much more detail when you actually get on the territory. Like the idea of your personality, once again, let's say you're Brandon. Brandon is not a singular thing. Just like your body is not a singular thing, it has the appearance of being so. No, I'll update later. How you gonna ask me about updating right now? Anyways, computer. Yeah, it's not a singular thing. Your body is not a singular thing. It has the appearance of being a singular thing. First of all, it's intimately connected with the environment around it. Second of all, it's composed of systems and dynamics, parts and pieces. Like to what degree is your hand not just your arm? You know, it's a distinction that we make. Okay, hand or fingers? You know, you got your lymphatic system, your nervous system, your digestive system, your circulatory system. These are dynamic systems that interact with each other. You have different types of tissues, different types of cells, different types of chemical reactions. There's so many different things going on in a unified manner. Not only is the body like that, but spirit and soul are like that. All right, each a vessel for the different densities. Something non-physical. Can you elaborate more on that on a little? My thoughts, right? Thought is something that's non-physical. Look, it's very simple. Here, I got a lighter on the table, all right? This is made of particles, all right? Those particles are made of atoms, subatomic particles. They gotta be. They gotta be in order for this to be a thing. If I had an apple, that apple would have to be made of cells. Those cells would have to come from a tree, which came from a whole line of other trees, which came from a whole line of other evolution. That's physical world. If I see a lighter in my imagination, that lighter's not made of cells. It's not made of atoms. It doesn't need any of those. If I imagine an orange, it doesn't need cells. It doesn't need atoms. It doesn't need a tree. This non-physical, it's right there. There's nowhere, there's plenty, now tell me, there are layers, there's densities to this. But to immediately begin engaging, it's very simple. You don't need to go unlock some piece of meat. It's fucking stupid. The primordial, because we just talked about the physical and non-physical, the primordial. The eye that can see both of those, that can see this lighter and the other lighter I imagined, that's the soul. That's the primordial. And the whole work is to turn the light of awareness back on itself, and that's where you rebuild. Not physical world, not the non-physical world, although you'll have to do both in order to understand the concept of building, how to even begin to do such a thing. So you have to do both. It's part of the whole necessary work. So the spiritual tools you sell on your website is designed for who? Anyone who's looking for some tools to begin using stuff. Because look, man, you can use anything as a tool. Some people think like they can take this spiritual stuff and they can just be all mental, and that's a lie. Because you're doing things physically that are after effects for what you do non-physically. Okay, like why you chose to wear what you wear, what's in your room. The room, the way you decorate it, your home is an altar to your personality. Okay, it's the thing, it's what you're worshiping. You got a little altar to money, you carry it around in your pocket. The whole little thing devoted to money. You don't go nowhere without it, right? You got one devoted to communication and information. He even decorated with a fancy. Look, I got some stickers on the back. I got a little different background. Put my icons where I want them. You're already doing it. You're already doing things in the physical. So motherfuckers who trying to do this thing where they separate themselves from what they do in the physical are gonna miss it. All right, so that's why you want to use working tools to begin doing things. It's not because, and we even say that at the website, bro. The magic ain't in the thing; it's in you. The ability to fix a car is not in the tools you use, it's in you. But you have to use the tools to do it. And these are some tools. Because once again, a lot of people, they're usually not explaining it like that. They're just telling you, hey, get my pineal pill and you're going to tap in. You know, make some panic pack tea and that's going to be the thing. And I make no claim. The magic is within you. I ain't got it, bro. But I help you fuck with it because this is what I do. Areas have a class that goes in more detail on the questions you ask and check it out. Yes, sir. The boot camp, I go into all of this. And this is why I'm running the boot camps the way I am right now. I'm putting out one every month for the next few months because what I'm going to start doing is people who have taken both the boot camp and had at least one consultation, I'm going to start working with y'all in a group. I'm actually going to start giving out the coursework on the metaphysics. And I don't want to say when I'm gonna do the self-deification coursework because it's still hard to be. It's difficult to take in without a comprehension of the metaphysics, at least basic. That's why I go into the Trinity so hard because you got to get it, man. If you're not building in the physical nor the non-physical, then it's beyond space and time. So how would you build where there is no space or time? It's about the structure, because the thing about it like this: how do you build here? You know, is there something special about the atoms in the clay of the brick that you use, or something special about the particular cells in the wood particle and like that? Once you understand the nature of what things are, because space and time are more complex than we see them here in the physical world. Like in the physical world, we have a linear conception of time. Time flows in one way. Okay, but just like there are directions of space you can move in, there are directions of time. There are more affordances that you don't understand from the physical world moving into non-physical and above. Like, what's a good way to say this? Like, for instance, a lot of the paranormal type of abilities people are usually thinking about or wanting to find, those aren't based in the biology of the body. Those aren't based in the physical world. Okay, like I say, you're in all three densities at once. Okay, and so if you're tapping into something on the non-physical density, but the only way you have to frame your reality is the physical world density, you're going to make the mundane and attribute this to some type of psychic thing in the brain that I'm doing. It's once again, it's about how you frame, because you're in all three. And the best way to answer how you build, because that's a how question, it skips over what, when, who, where. How you build, the process itself tells you how. Because look, the first thing I get you into when we're talking self-deification is looking at how you've been building what you've been building. What you've been building so far is the personality. And that's not something physical. It's based in the idea that what you are is, but it's not physical. And so as you get in there and start to figure out how you've been building that, how you're agreeing to that, that's what they call shadow work, you start to see the mechanisms for agreement, for contract, for bounding thing. As a thing is bound, so it is unbound. And so that's what I'm talking about. When you turn the light of your awareness back on itself, once you're able to do that, you will have enough information about how agreements work, how to make them or break them, actually examine the ones you've been making the whole time. Because like I say, you're never not doing it. There's no, oh, you got to do it 24/7 and do it. No, you're always doing it. But it's about, there's no new place to go, no new thing to unlock. It's about looking at what you've been doing. You've always been doing it, but you've been basing it all here. What you are is on all three levels, all three densities. Okay, so it's just, you're doing the same thing, but you're putting it all here, as if all there is here. And that's the issue. Smooth. Right. You're right. The divine mind probably has the answer to that already. We're just already controlling the physical, the Kether region, or whatever you shall choose to call it. Because once again, bro, look, it's a map. The map is not the territory. The map is not the territory. So, I mean, because I intuit what you mean by the Kether region. But, I mean, especially when you get into the Tree of Life and the Qliphoth, when you're looking at those top three that are above Da'ath or on the other side, because like I show you, man, the Qliphoth is perpendicular to the Tree of Life, and so this part right here that's on the other side of this perpendicular part, this is the Kether region, I guess you could say, and this stuff is a reflection of what's going on in the Da'ath. All right, because you come down from the Da'ath, that's what projects the Tree of Life, and you go all the way down to Malkuth. All right. Because most people only consider the Tree of Life. And so if you're only considering the Tree of Life, not only is the Da'ath hidden, but the fact that all of this is influenced by the Da'ath is hidden. Well, not necessarily the Da'ath, but the Qliphoth itself. Man, bro, the maps can get good. But you have to remember that the map isn't the territory. That's the only thing. And once again, it's subtle. Vera the ETs, man, came in here out of nowhere, boy. Rob, good to see you, man. Roll up that panic pack game, put it in some tea. man, I had a panic pack back in the day. I'm not even gonna clown y'all. It took me forever to get it. But I got my little bag of herbs, bro. Yo, what's up, bro? Bob Rashad, good to see you in the chat. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a piss real quick, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna talk about the fourth wall meditation. It was the last self-deification technique I didn't go into, and so I'm gonna go into it, all right? Yo, Daryl, good to see you in the chat, sir. All right, smoke. All right. What does build mean if the building is taking place where there is no space or time? Taking place? If there's no space or time, what does it even mean to take place? See, once again, bro, it's the ontology of the Western world. You're using the Western ontology to try to understand something that the Western ontology isn't built for. You know, this is why I say you got to get into language, because no space and no time is not necessarily simply nothing. Okay? Because, see, this is the thing. Because you're using space and time so deeply to understand what being is, that's the only way you can frame it. Okay? Like, think about this. Because just like the distinction I was making, but things that are non-physical. Okay? When you move, because you're not just, here it is. Usually when people are looking at these maps, they're looking at the process of going from 0 all the way down, 10, 11, and 12. Okay? This is the thing. When you're looking at the map to navigate the territory, you're navigating the territory from the bottom back to the top. And so, because the concepts or the structure of what you find at the bottom is the residue of what comes from the top. And so to take that back to the top, at least you're distilling out the principles that were already present at zero. Okay, so the return to it isn't necessarily a nothingness. Okay, it's not a nothingness. It's a I don't want to say dimensional because I don't want you to think places, because it's not. This isn't a question of places. It's a question on what building means. Okay. And I don't want to anthropomorphize it because I don't want to take it into the realm of story narrative. There's plenty of narratives where they talk about it. But this is what I mean when I say building. That perpendicular part of the Kalipov, okay? And I guess building is a bit of a misnomer because we're talking about the action, but it's more so standing the fuck back up. But it's about what is you. That's what's being constructed. That's what's being built. It's not that there's some place out there that you're making a castle. It's what is you and how have you been framing it. And that's what I'm talking about is built. It's the you. It's the thing you've been the whole time. It's reshaping and reforming that without using the narrative of the physical world. That's what you're rebuilding. It's the you, it's the self, it's the deification process. It's the Adam Kadmon standing back up into a living perpendicular from a dead horizontal. Okay, it's that's what you're rebuilding. It's not bricks and get your nail. I mean, you can make the analogy, but I mean, even saying the word building is making an analogy. Hold on, let me see what this is. They want to hear you piss, man. Hey, bro, I can't think of too much that's better than pissing or coming, bro. I wish I could come as long as I piss. That should be feeling good. Just, oh no. I really need to be out here marking my territory, my natural state. I think that's what I need to be doing. That's why I got so much piss. Or it's all the water. Either way. When the darkness starts to become visible. I don't know if you say the darkness is invisible. I don't know. Or when you start to see the things you put in the darkness. It's a process. It's a process, though. This nigga doing too much piss moaning. Hey, bro. Hey, it feels good. Oh, shit, looks like I got braces. But there's no green. Yeah, I gotta fix this fucking filter. Anyways. Hey, man, this man pissing off Ken. Hey, bro. Gotta take care of it, man. Look, y'all wanna, I'll leave y'all some elevator music next. Nah, fuck that. I'll probably just record the sound of me pissing, and that'll be the intro music. What you talking about? Okay. Beach X, good to see you in the chat. Alright, y'all. The fourth wall meditation. That's what I want to talk about. That's the last thing I want to talk about today. Okay. I'll give you your Monday morning back after that. This is the last self-deification technique that I didn't speak about in the last live that I did. And it's more of a recent technique I developed. Because look, developing a methodology has to come from the epistemology and ontology you use. At first, I really hate developing methodologies because people focus so much on, okay, once I do the method, then I'm going to get it and everything's going to be good. No, you need to get the ontology and the epistemology. Otherwise, the methodology is performance. It's pageantry. But motherfuckers are always looking for a new methodology to fill in for the fact that they didn't comprehend the epistemology and the ontology because they didn't want to look stupid in front of the other niggas that was talking. Tell me, bro, look stupid, bro. It's okay. Anyways, the fourth wall meditation, okay? And once again, something very easy you can do. Don't need to activate anything. Don't need to go to a certain place or do a certain spooky pose, okay? It's really simple to understand. And you can mess with it a little bit to start to feel the distinction. Okay, here's how I usually explain it. Imagine yourself saying the word carrot. Hear yourself say it about 4 or 5 times. You don't have to speak it physically. Hear yourself say it about 3 or 4 times. Get comfortable with the feeling of your own voice in your head. then what you want to do is take that and extend it to actually saying carrot. Okay, so first you say it in your mind, then you say it with your body. I did this when I was high, so it helped out because I was less attached to, because you don't want to be so attached to what your body feels and trying to feel it. That's why I started out with saying it in your mind, because you want to feel it that way first. You want to feel the extent of it. You want to feel the movement away from yourself with it. Okay, then once you say it, you start to speak it with the body. You can feel the distinction between the two. You can feel where one becomes the other, where your what's the word? Your declaration, I'll say declaration. Your declaration of the word carrot moves from just being what's said in the mind to said by the body. And as you play with that boundary, okay, that's the fourth wall boundary. I say a fourth wall boundary because there's probably different faces to the geometric shape after you've gone beyond cube and shit like that. You know, you could be looking at a sphere which has technically infinite amount of sides, but you know, that's geometric discussion. Anyways, you want to play with that boundary. You want to feel that boundary. One person even told me when he started to feel it, he could start to hear the voices on the other side of the fourth wall as opposed to just physical world stuff. See, you want to break your own fourth wall. You can most certainly do it. Like one way you'd like to do it is when you have you out somewhere. Black people, we do this all the time. If there's another black person, white folks do some weird shit. You just look at the other black person. Right? Okay, or if something stupid happens in life and no one's there to see it with you, you just watch it and all of a sudden you look at the camera of life and just... You're breaking your own fourth wall, okay? But the exercise is to get you comfortable with the position of the motherfucker looking from the other side. All right, so once again, it's not a thing you got to go do somewhere specially. You're always doing it. But what is you? How are you framing your reality? This is part of what your metaphysical presuppositions and your beliefs are going to do to give rise to what you consider knowledge. Okay, so you have to check those presumptions first and make sure that they're coherent with what you say you know. But anyways, you do that and you break your own fourth wall. All the time. Especially niggas who ain't got nobody to talk to. I know you do this shit. You know, you see some weird shit, all of a sudden, like you look at the studio audience, okay? That's what you're doing. But what is the studio audience in this part is beyond that fourth wall, okay? So we're talking spirit at the very least, okay? And it's a very simple technique. You can mess with it. You know, look, next time you're a little high on the weed, hit it, bro. Try it out. You know, go through the first part in the mind, say it. Don't have it come out the body, but say it. You know, you don't have to use carrot. You can use whatever. I just said carrot because it's easy. Okay, you can use whatever word you want. You can do your little mantra or hum, whatever makes it. You can say Jesus. I don't care. The point is to be saying without giving your body the directive to do it, and then feel the point, the place at which it goes from just in your mind, in your imagination, to actualized by the body. You can even feel the process of the body getting ready to do it and making it and going through the steps, the procedural steps. So usually you don't focus your attention on the procedural steps that the body's already going through to do it. You just, oh, I'm saying things, I'm talking, you know what I mean? No, like there's more to it. Like I said, you're always doing this. There's nowhere you gotta go or thing you gotta unlock to be doing it. You gotta pay attention. You gotta notice. And this is consistent with all the people I work with. They're not in the habit of listening to themselves. They have so much they want to say and discuss and get out, you know, that they don't get around to seeing the value of actually listening to themselves. They're so ready for someone to listen to them. You know, they feel deprived of anyone having listened to them. They feel, you know, they deserve it. And whether or not they do it, I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I don't tell nobody what they deserve. You gotta learn to listen to yourself. You gotta learn to cultivate that, because that's the shit y'all niggas is looking for. You're looking for that, but you're looking for someone to tell you how to do it. And to answer a question of how, you have to already get what, who, when, and where, bro, at the very least. And so it's really presumptive to ask the how question. So if you catch yourself asking a how question, jump back to a what question and see if you really got the answer for that. Because if you can't comprehend the what question, a how question ain't gonna give you no good. A how question ain't gonna do you no good. You know, get yourself into a what, a who. If you can hit that what, that who, that where, and when. You can't go through those without examining what is you. See, jumping straight to a how is to presume you already got all that figured out, and I guarantee you don't. But that's the details. So, you know, people are quick to say, you know, so how do I summon a demon? Oh God, how do I deal with these people in my life who ain't on the level? And it's presumptive. It's presumptive, and you're usually impressed with yourself for how much you know. That's why I say it's bullshit. All right, so with the fourth wall meditation, you want to be able to feel this boundary, okay? It's interesting because once you can feel the boundary, you can feel how I'm looking for a word that corresponds parallel. Corresponds parallel. How the form is fitted to the form of the body. How the body is a dense part of, or the dense end, of that wall. And especially when you can see yours, you can see other people's, you can feel other people's. But then, you know, people get too caught up in the whole humanity part of it. But, you know, it's whatever. That's methodology. There you go. Methodology. Let me put this up here. I want to look all the way over there to see it. That's why I put it up here. This mouse is so sensitive. Being a little bitch. Let the motherfuckers from the direction of the fourth wall pour through. Colorful, twerky crackheads. Look, whatever you got going in there, y'all, I ain't gonna judge you. Shoot. Hey, man, all the stuff that go on in the church, but hey, whatever you got in there, man, I ain't even, oh, man, I'm blurry because it's not focusing. That's all right. That's all right. You know what? That's all right. The body is symbol with life pouring out of it. Yeah, it's constantly doing that. But most motherfuckers are too busy identifying with the body to comprehend it, to catch it, to notice it. And that's what your enlightenment is. That's what you're raising your vibration is. You're beginning to notice things that were always there, but the only thing that was stopping was you. You're beginning to notice the unfolding of it, okay? All right, yeah, so if y'all was upset about hearing me piss, you ain't gonna want to hear me shit. Thank you for letting me have your Monday morning, y'all. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for other things. I know you've seen the Magic Market. If you're in Atlanta, come on through. We're gonna make it about you. We're gonna have some fun. If you haven't signed up for boot camp yet, if you haven't tried it out yet, go ahead and get in there. Stop playing games. And really, if you have an issue that's more personal and you don't want to put it in a group setting, that's exactly what the consultations are for, okay? Nothing you say will surprise me. I really wish you would. But you know, it's not about judging you. It's not about saying whether or not you should have what you'd have on the other side of that fourth wall. I don't really care what you have, okay? That's up to you. I'm interested in how you relate to it, because that's what's going to make the difference for me. Yeah, look at me, I'm blurry. It's clearly time to get out of here. They ain't ready for them types of L's. That's an L. That's not an I. I'm like, I's. L's. Hey man, look. This is fashionable to tell niggas, hey man, look, make sure the bitches know I get these L's. Nah, nigga, chill out. Chill out. You ain't getting no points off of that. Alright, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday morning. I appreciate you coming out here, sharing the space with me. And I'm going to go enjoy myself.